Hello and welcome to the DayZ Zombie Survival Guide. This is the second of a 13-part series addressing everything from basic survival tips to the advanced features of the Arma 2 game engine. And this week we're going to cover looting. I'm going to be guiding you through 4 towns, giving you different tips on how to loot and how to do it safely, making sure you don't become a victim of a careless bandit. 3 out of the 4 areas that we'll be covering today are high risk areas, but where there's risk, there's reward. And I want you to take that into consideration before you head out to loot any location. There's one core rule of looting at any location, and it's planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Make sure you recon the area and know what you want to get before you go in. Here are the locations that we'll be covering today. We'll be covering Cherno, Electro, Balata and Brezina. Each one offers a different set of risks and a different set of rewards. The first area we'll be looking at is Electro. It acts as a spawn for many survivors, and therefore it makes it a PvP hotspot. Electro has a variety of buildings that can benefit you with both loot and supplies. An office building, a hospital, a church and 2 fire stations that will provide you with military loot. After you've collected what you need, make sure you get out of the city fast, because it's a high traffic area and the chance of running into other player is high. When you start to loot this area, make sure you start at the power station to the north and move down into the convenience store and the offices. Make sure before you head into the office that you loot the building across the street, as it provides you with most of the general equipment that you'll need, including food, drink, maps and a compass and further equipment that you'll need to navigate through the rest of the map. The office complex offers you 3 times the amount of slots for objects to spawn as other buildings, so make sure you don't miss any single floor. They might not be military objects, but they're just as worthwhile looking. If you do happen to engage a contact inside the offices, make sure you search the rest of the offices, including the top floors and balconies, before you search his body. The worst thing you can have is you find some good loot and you get shot right in the back by another player. Once you've cleared the office complex, head across the road to the medical centre. Make sure your path is clear and avoid running out in the open, as snipers may pit you off from the fire stations on either side. After you've cleared the medical complex, head down the main road or travel by the alleyways to the church. Inside the church there's normally limited medical supplies, maps, compasses and small weapons. Once you've cleared the church, head across the road to the fire station. Once again you'll find some high-end equipment and weaponry. Once you've cleared the area, or in this case get chased out by a load of zombies, you want to head back up to the farm and continue the loop until you find some good equipment, or head north to find some further towns and play it safe. Hopefully that'll bring close to any problems that you find while looting Electro, and hopefully it'll get you out of there in one piece. But let's continue. Cherno. Cherno is the largest location in Cherno. It's the largest city, it has the most objects, but it lacks military resources. With only a small military camp and 1 fire station to give the high-end military equipment, it might not be worth the while. If you happen to venture into Cherno, the centre is where you want to be, with buildings surrounding the main square containing a majority of small weapons, food and other basic substances that you could use on your survival. I would consider this a large risk for only a little reward, but it may be a lifesaver if you're weak or you're in need of basic supplies. I will warn you though, the dock is always full of PvP activity, as many players use it as a bypass route for the city. Right, I'm going to move through Cherno rather fast. Let's hope you start the construction site. Firstly, head down the main road, and as you see you'll start to come up on the main square. On the main square there's buildings on every corner. Once you've cleared them all, head for the centre building where there's limited supplies. Once you've cleared them, continue on till you see the church on the right. The church will contain basic medical supplies and weapons. Once you've cleared the church, make sure you clear the 2 red buildings and the fire station on the outskirts. And finally, head to the convenience store and get out of the area as fast as possible. If you don't happen to spawn by the major cities, you spawn down the coast near Balata. Balata is home to a small airfield and village. The village is a waste of time, so don't search it. The airfield itself is home to a hell of a lot of military supplies and a small military encampment, which offers with some of the best loot in the game. A great start for a new player, but be aware, many of the players rush to this point, so they're very careless and they're just willing to kill for anything. The route I recommend to take this area is follow the forest behind the hangars into the control tower. It's a lot safer, where many snipers will watch the airfield. After that has been done, head back up into the tree line and follow it down, further to the further hangars where you'll find more mechanical and machinery parts. And finally, this brings us on to Brezina. Brezina is a rather easy city to travel through due to the light PvP activity that normally happens down in the south. Firstly, what you need to do is start travelling down this main road. On both sides you'll notice enterable buildings that possess a lot of loot. Remember, Brezina is the only town that has 2 convenience stores. Make sure you search both for camping equipment and relevant supplies. Brezina is also host to a relevant number of apartments and a small office complex that can be found in the mill yard. The mill yard is normally a host to a hell of a lot of zombies, so if you go in there, be careful. Otherwise, continue down the road and clear the apartment complex, the church and the other areas surrounding the electrical building. Here you'll find some more searchable buildings that are perfect for supplies. Obviously, now you're in the central area, you want to be careful for zombies. PvP action is normally light around here. People that pass through this area are normally travelling to the airbase. They want to travel to the airbase for the helicopter, so be careful for this and they'll easily take you out on the way. Players up this way are normally well equipped, so be careful. And that brings an end to episode 3. Hopefully you've learned something from this, and if you have, feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.